It's time for Recipe of the Day. We don't exactly do Taco Tuesday over here, but if I think of it, I do often do some kind of Tex-Mex inspired thing on Tuesdays just because I'm thinking to myself, what should we have for dinner on Tuesday? And then I think Taco Tuesday, and that leads me down that path, which is how it comes to be that I am telling you about salsa chicken today. Now, I know I say salsa the Canadian way. I think you say salsa. I can't make myself change it. So it's going to be salsa for this episode. My apologies. Now, this is one of those recipes that uses very, very few ingredients, but packs a ton of flavor. And it's really because of the salsa that the chicken essentially cooks in. And usually when I make this, I do at least a double batch, sometimes even more, because on the first day, I'll have it as the chicken portions. So it's either halved chicken breasts or chicken thighs, boneless, skinless, either way. So I'll do those as portions. So I bake this whole big tray of them. And then we eat the ones that we're going to eat that night. The rest, I put those in the fridge in a container. And then if I need to shred up some chicken meat for some quick burritos or on a taco salad, anything like that, it just is perfect. I've even actually shredded it up and added broth and turned it into a quick soup. So you just end up with this like flavor packed chicken that is crazy versatile. After you make this, you're definitely going to want to make a double or triple batch every time. I know it. Okay, so you are going to start by preheating the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you're spraying a baking dish, something with a rim. If you're doing that double or triple batch, you want a nice big sheet pan that has a rim because we are going to have salsa going on there, and you don't want it to like drip down into your oven. But if you're doing just a single batch, it's a 13 by 9 inch baking dish, something like that. And then you're going to spray that with cooking spray or oil it with olive oil just so that nothing's going to stick to it. You could, of course, use parchment or aluminum foil if you wanted to instead or in addition to the cooking spray. Then if you are using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, you just leave them in the little bundles that they're sold in on the tray from the grocery store. If you are using boneless, skinless chicken breasts, if they're those really big ones, you want to cut them in half. I actually often do them kind of on the diagonal so that each portion has a skinny bit and a thicker, wider bit, and they kind of look like mini chicken breasts. Or you can do them through the center so that they're more like cutlets. That's going to work too. And I will say that I would not use bone-in chicken breasts for this, actually mostly just because they're hard to find these days. I just never have them and I haven't tested it with that. You can use bone-in chicken thighs, but I would remove the skin first because it's just going to get rubbery. It's not going to crisp up in this recipe, but the bone is just going to add an extra like 10 minutes to the cooking time. So if that's what you have or that's what's on sale, you're fine. That's going to work perfectly too. Okay, whatever kind of chicken you're using, arrange that in a single layer in that baking dish or on your baking sheet. And then you're going in with 1.5 cups of salsa dolloped on top of each chicken portion. And you kind of want it a little bit spilling over. So you just divide it among your pieces of chicken and it's just going to kind of be on top and kind of falling over the sides. As to what kind of salsa, whichever one you like. If you want a really spicy one for that big hot flavor, you can do that. If you like a milder one, that will work. I have tried this with like a tomatillo roasted kind of green salsa. It worked great too. So whatever you've got, whatever you like, go for it. It's 1.5 cups of salsa for the amount of chicken this recipe calls for. And I'm just going to back up because I just realized this. The recipe calls for 4 large boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut in half, and that makes your 8 portions. So you would probably use 8 boneless, skinless chicken thighs for the 1.5 cups of salsa also. Then that chicken with the salsa on it goes into the oven. So we didn't season it with salt or anything, and that's just because there is a high sodium content in that salsa. It's going to season the chicken perfectly. You don't need to add anything else. So really, we just did chicken in a pan with salsa on top. I know, it's barely even a recipe, right? So then you are cooking that just until the chicken is cooked through. So depending on the size of your chicken, that kind of thing, it might not need as long. The salsa is fully cooked. We're just trying to cook the chicken. For those bigger chicken breasts we've cut in half, it's going to be about 25 to 30 minutes. For the chicken thighs, it's going to be about 30 minutes. If they don't have a bone, maybe closer to 40 if they do have the bone. It's great to use an instant read thermometer and just double check whatever kind of chicken you're using that it's at 165 degrees Fahrenheit at the thickest point, or cut into one and make sure it's not pink inside. Just be aware that because the salsa is red, that can make it be a little misleading. So if you're going by eyeball, just just keep in mind that you could see pink from salsa, but maybe it's pink from chicken and you want to be a little extra careful of that. And then once the chicken is cooked, you take that out of the oven and sprinkle it all with some shredded cheese. I always use cheddar cheese because that is what I have. A big bag of shredded cheddar cheese is always in my fridge. Mozzarella would work, or like one of those like Mexican or Tex-Mex blends of shredded cheese. That would be great. Monterey Jack, Pepper Jack, Colby Jack, anything like that is going to be just fine. You want it shredded, about half a cup. Sprinkle that over the top. Put that back in the oven just until the cheese has melted, and then you can serve it just like that. Or I often will top it with a little bit of sour cream and some sliced up green onions. That's great. You can have some avocado on the side or on top. That's delicious too. This is particularly good served over rice. I really like it that way. Usually if I'm putting it over the rice, I'll slice the portions first, but if I'm putting it beside the rice, everybody can cut their own as they go, right? And don't forget, if you have that double batch, you have some delicious chicken taco salads or burritos or pulled chicken sandwiches coming up tomorrow or the next day. It's going to be so good. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there, or find it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/recipeOTD. And hey, just a quick note. I'm on a recording hiatus right now, so for the next little while, I'm replaying episodes from the archives, including this one. If you heard me mention a holiday, a season, or something going on in my life that seemed a bit off, that's why. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these older episodes. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, cookfor2.us, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.